In this episode, we are joined by two well known football veterans, each who will be talking about their experience winning a championship. First up is well traveled defensive back and return man Joe Powell from the Arlington Renegades, the champions of the XFL in 2023. And next up is head coach John DeFilippo of the New Orleans Breakers, who won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles back in 2017, guiding both Carson Wentz and Nick Foles to admirable performances. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to help us grow and continue producing better content in the future.
What's up, Shady Sports Network? I'm back here with another player interview, a very special one. I'm here with Mr. Joe Powell, 2023 XFL champion. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm great. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. How does it feel to be a champion?
It feels great being that it's my first one and on the type of level that it's on. So, I mean, it's an amazing feeling. I was able to celebrate with a couple of my loved ones and my teammates that are now my brothers. So, I mean, the feeling is always going to be amazing to be able to wake up every day and consider yourself a champ. So, I mean, there's no better feeling.
For sure. So the big question here is, what's next for you in your career?
Right now, the most important thing is staying ready because I mean you never know if the call is going to come, and I am hoping that I can get an NFL call. But if not, I'm gonna just continue to grind, continue to put in the work, and we'll see what the future holds.
For sure. Now, that's a great attitude to have. So, XFL Championship game, man. There are 20,000 fans there. How did that feel to play in front of all those people and on national television?
Oh, it felt amazing. I mean, it was a different atmosphere, being that it was the championship game, and being that I mean, I played in the championship game last year in the arena, but I think the magnitude was different. It was just something that a lot of people don't get to see, and a lot of people don't get to feel. And I was able to do it with a lot of the guys that I call now my brother. That we grinded it out all year. We was counted out all year, and for us to overcome the adversity that we was going through coming into the game at 4-6, and being able to beat Houston in the championship, the South Division championship, and then coming to play DC, which arguably was the best team in the league. I just feel like we had a lot to prove. They never count us out, even though the record was what it was, and the way we was playing all year was the way it was. But I mean, the feeling was amazing. So that's really how the feeling was for me.
For sure. No, for those of you who don't know, Joe was one of the first guys I met in the first arena football game. I watched him and his Carolina Cobras play my team at the time. Talk about a little bit about your arena career.
I started in 2015. I started with the Lehigh Valley Steelhawks, and then I bounced around a couple of times. The Lehigh Valley Steelhawks was in the PIFL. I was fortunate enough to have a great season. I finished the year with Defensive Player of the Year with 11 plus picks, and after that I was moved up with the Cleveland Gladiators in 2016, and then 2018 and 2019 I played with the Baltimore Brigade. I had two solid seasons with those guys, and then these last 2 years, 21 and 22, I was playing with the Carolina Cobras. And the first year, unfortunately, I wasn't able to play a full year due to a significant knee injury during the first game, and then I was able to bounce back and come back in 2022. Didn't have my best season, being that I was coming off a major knee injury, the mental one where I needed it to be. My knee wasn't fully where I needed it to be, probably because of my mental, but I was able to finish that season healthy and was blessed to get drafted into the XFL.
Yeah, so that's awesome, man. Like you played NAL, you played XFL. What do you think the major differences are in how organizations are run at the XFL level and the arena level?
The difference is the professionalism, in my opinion. When you think about it, in the XFL, that is a true pro league to where everything is ran by ex NFL coaches or player personnel guys or just people in general has been to the next level and know how to run organization. No knock on the NAL because it's because I don't disrespect where I come from, but that's just the difference in my opinion. It's just the professionalism. I mean, I have no complaints about the NAL. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Again, those guys are my brothers also that I took the field with. So, I mean, that's the difference.
A lot of people were messaging me, asking me questions about you. The one question I got is, would you consider playing arena football if you don't get the call necessarily?
No, I mean, I've thought about it, but I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't make sense being that, I mean, I played a great season with the Arlington Renegades and, I came out as a champion. So for me, the biggest thing is no matter what, staying ready. And if the call don't come, I would just be looking forward to playing in the XFL again next year.
For sure. So you went to a college in Manhattan, New York.
Yep,
I believe it's called the Global Institute of Technology, GIT.
yep.
What was your experience there?
My experience there was definitely life changing. Um, it was a constant grind. Like it was a struggle. I feel like that was a part of my life where I became a true man because I had to do a lot of things on my own. I took a lot of things to the chin and handle things on my own. Tried not to allow my parents to get into my situation because I knew they were stressed a lot. So I mean, I just it was just a life changing moment for me. Being out in Globe, being a 19-year-old kid in a big old city of New York, coming from a small city of Portsmouth, Virginia. So I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun, but at the same time, it was totally different.
For sure. No. Um, so GIT, what division is that?
It's JUCO, junior
Oh,
college.
junior college. Did you go there all 4 years?
Nah, I went there honestly for like a couple months, and then unfortunately, my financial aid had ran out because I went to do two different schools in New York within like 2 to 3 months. I went to ASA Junior College first. That was in Brooklyn, New York, and then I had transferred over to Globe Tech Junior College.
So I was reading this on your Wikipedia page. Well, first of all, I mean, how cool is it to have a Wikipedia page?
I feel like it's cool. Being able to type in Google Joe Powell and Wikipedia pops up. That's something that I guess I can say is cool. I don't know.
So going from different colleges, how was your academics? And there was it harder because you went from different environment to different environment?
I'm gonna be honest, and hopefully someone listens to this. And I didn't take the academics as serious only because of my prior situations coming up in school and stuff. It was I wasn't focused more so on school. I was like just trying to get it out the mud with football, and that's the only thing that I was focused on instead of being a true student athlete. So, I mean that's really the big vocal point that I would have to say because I just wasn't locked in with my academics like I should have been.
So that's a really good piece of advice because academics is a lot like football. It's the constant grind and it's step by step. So of course, right now you're training, I assume, for your NFL call. Um,
Hmm.
how do you keep that mindset when you know any day could change?
You just gotta remember where you come from. You gotta remember who you're doing it for, because you're not just doing it for yourself. I have kids, I have a family. I have a lot of people that looks up to me, and I mean, for me, it's always, I'm still, in my mind, I'm still young, so I'm always trying to prove that I can still play at the highest level, or I can be the best guy at any level that I'm playing at. That's just the motto, and I live by a motto of separate yourself. So every day I have to be doing something that's going to perfect my craft. If that's just stretching, or just going in and doing abs, like, or making sure I'm eating right, or making sure that I'm in a hot tub or the sauna, just taking care of my body, making sure that I'm gonna be as ready as possible whenever my next opportunity comes.
100%. So, where can people find you and interact with your social medias?
I'm just Joe Powell on Facebook, and then on Instagram I am Joe P underscore separate yourself.
Do you have any merch?
Do I have any who?
Like merchandise?
Oh, no, not at the moment. I'm working towards that though.
That'd be awesome for sure. So, my final question for you is: this season, you play kick returner, you play defensive back.
hmm
How would you assess your overall performance this year?
I feel like I played great. I was able to finish off the year with 5 interceptions, which made me the league leader. And this is honestly my first time playing punt return on an outdoor professional level. So honestly, it was fun. Like, I had a lot of fun doing it. Of course, it was different, and I just feel like I've made a case to say that I could still play at the next level. So for me, I feel like I played great in our system and in our scheme, and I really don't have no regrets.
Definitely. So, Joe, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule for coming on the show, and I look forward to see what your next move is.
Appreciate it, man. It was amazing speaking with you. I appreciate you taking the time out to get me on your show. It was awesome.
Yes, sir, man. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you at the top.
All right, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Welcome to the Shady Sports Network. I'm Michael Washington. Today I have a special guest with me, Super Bowl winning coach and current USFL head coach of the New Orleans Breakers, Coach John DeFilippo. Did I get that last name right?
Perfect. A+.
Awesome. Look at that. Coach, thank you again so much for joining us tonight and giving us a little bit of your story in the interview. I know it's been busy, especially heading into the weekend here. So
no problem. I'd love. It's great to have you. It's great to be here, and thanks for inviting me.
Oh, I'm a huge New Orleans Breakers fan. I'm like the resident OG here at Shady Sports Network. So, like, the fact that I have you here all to myself is like awesome. So
cool, man.
So first question I want to ask you right off the bat is, I know a little bit about the story with the diagnosis that you had, and I know the story. It's a great story, and it's inspirational for anybody who's suffering through it. I just want to know, what are some of the challenges that you have faced so far this season with it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Just for your viewers that don't know, I have a condition called ankylosing spondylitis, which is basically a condition where your spine is severely arthritic and inflamed. It's an autoimmune disorder, and to answer your question, is the hardest part is you really don't know how you're going to feel each day when you get up. There's days since I've been here I've crawled to my walker to get a shower in the morning, and there's days I've gotten out of bed. I'm like, wow, I feel pretty good. So that's the hardest part. Is just the unknown. And I've had back pain for my whole life. I thought it was annoying. It was just like getting older, and those deadlift squats I used to do in college with all that weight on your back, playing college football. Thought that was catching up with me, but around Christmas time, I had debilitating pain, and not being able to walk for months at a time, and my right foot swelled up to twice the normal size of my left one, and the pain was horrific. And I was very fortunate to have the Mayo Clinic. I live right outside of Jacksonville in a city called Atlantic Beach, Florida, and so we have the Mayo Clinic right there in Jacksonville, and the doctors there were awesome. And I can't thank them enough for what they've done for me personally. They've given my life back, and so this is a condition that it's not very common. It's something I was born with, and it just decides to attack your joints. They can choose any joint really in your limbs, and there's some days my hands, like when I open mail, I open an envelope, like I'll get shooting pains in my hands. There's, like I said, my back. I'm on constant muscle relaxers for my back, and to keep that in line. And when I get home, whenever our season ends, hopefully later than sooner, I'm really going to start, testing foods that I can eat and help me, the anti-inflammatory type foods. And so I have a lot of learning to do myself and about what I have. And I've been very fortunate just to have people along the way really help me.
Yeah, that's, the fact that you were born with it and you didn't know, pretty much what it was throughout a good portion of your life. And, now that you have a diagnosis, you're able to at least head in the right direction with this and hopefully make it manageable for you. I didn't realize it attacked other parts of your body either too. So
yeah,
I just want to say personally on my level, like I'm not much of an emotional person, but seeing how emotional you got when you ran onto the field the first, week one, like that was just, it was moving. And anybody who has this condition or a condition in general, don't let it, be your crutch, don't let it be your crutch for sure.
And my thing is I just try to attack every day. I'm thankful I'm walking again, and I'm thankful that it doesn't take half an hour to get out of bed because I'm in so much pain. That's what I'm thankful for. So, like I said, I've just been so fortunate that I've had great people help me.
Yeah. Well, now that we got a little bit of your personal backstory there out of the way, because I think it's a fascinating story. So I wanted to ask that question right up front because, I know that you're doing it and you're doing a fantastic job with New Orleans, and it's awesome having you on the sidelines. So
thank you.
I just wanted to make sure that you could tell your story real quick there. But I want to get into my next question for you is not going back all the way in your history of coaching, because you have a very, deep resume, but I wanted to ask about your 2016 run with the Philadelphia Eagles as the quarterback coach, and the amazing run you guys had, with Carson Wentz that year and Nick Foles. You were the quarterbacks coach for that team. Tell me a little bit about how that season was for you, as coming from a coach that has been doing this for a good portion of your life at that point.
Yeah. It was an amazing year. In every season, there's about 6 or 7 plays that either bounce your way or they don't, or they bounce the other team's way. And usually you get about half of those. 3 bounce your way, 3 bounce the other way. And all 6 or 7 of those plays went our way that year. You have to be really, really good to win a Super Bowl. I mean, fantastic. There is a little bit of a luck element there as well, too. It has to be. Anytime you accomplish something like that, you have to be at the right place at the right time in a lot of things. So we had that going for us. And I think, in all fairness to our coaches and players that were on that team, I think the harder you work, the more detailed you are. I think those breaks bounce your way. And I thought from a coaching staff standpoint, we did it. The guys I worked with were A++ coaches. I mean, you're talking about the guys like Doug Peterson, and Frank Reich, and Jeff Stoutland, and Mike Groh, and Jim Schwartz, and Tim Houck, and Justin Peele. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on the all-star list of coaches. And I apologize to all my friends out there that I was on that staff that I left their names out. Love you guys too. But that's just, Deuce Staley, guys like, I mean, just keep going down the list. And so Eugene Chung, former first-round pick, was our assistant line coach. I mean, we had an all-star staff. And I was very fortunate to be a small part of that. And then you talk about our team, our players on our team. I mean, we had unbelievable veteran leadership on both sides of the football. I mean, you're talking about guys like Jason Peters and Darren Sproles and Lane Johnson and I mean, just go on and on defense, Fletcher Cox, Nigel Bradham. I mean, Kelsey. I mean, it just Zach Ertz. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey. I mean, you just go down the list of guys that were just stand-up people and great players. And so I think when you combine the combination of trust between player to player, player to coach, and coach to player, the ultimate trust was there with that team. And I was just fortunate to be a small part of it.
Yeah, I'm a Washington Commanders fan, so I got to see you guys twice, and
yeah,
I had to endure that, fantastic coaching staff. I mean, you mentioned the coaches that were just on there alone, and the team that year was one of the better teams. Carson was playing lights out, all year long, unfortunate with the injury and whatnot. But
yeah. I'll tell you what, you got to give the other thing about that team. There's other two people I left out that deserve a lot of credit for that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the owner, Jeffrey Lurie, is, in my opinion, if not the best, arguably a top 5 owner in all sport, in my opinion. I mean, you never heard the word no come out of his mouth with anything to do with football. And then obviously, Howie Roseman. I mean, Howie's unbelievable. He just keeps reloading that team. They're always going to be strong on both sides on both lines. And then he just plugs and places really, really good skill players. But the Eagles are always going to be good up front on both sides of the football as long as Howie Roseman's there.
Howie Roseman has won me over as a fan, and it pains me to say that, being a Commanders fan with, him being in Philadelphia, but he is a fantastic GM, and he's done a wonderful job, especially drafting recently and over the course of the years. Oh, it's crazy. And, some of the moves he's made, trading for AJ Brown, just in general has just been insane. Like,
here's the thing that people don't understand about Howie. Howie is not afraid to gamble. Like, he's not afraid to be a little bit of a riverboat game. I mean, he's going to take his shot now. And that's all you can ask as a coach. That's all you can ask is that you got a guy in the front office that's going to try his butt off to get you great players. And he's not afraid to trade draft picks. He's not afraid to trade up. I mean, so you got to give Howie a ton of credit for that, for all these Eagles teams. And he's done, obviously, a great job.
Yeah, for sure. He's done wonderful with them, and I'm kind of scary to see them, twice this year too, coming up for my team. But the Super Bowl that year was an interesting one because you were going against the mighty Patriots, Tom Brady, and everybody was expecting that to be kind of another swan song for Tom and whatnot. How this question might be a little out of left field, but how much did the surprise Malcolm Butler benching by Bill Belichick in New England affect your guys' game plan, if at all?
It really didn't, because we didn't know that was going to happen. And so, I forget the exact timeline when we knew that Malcolm wasn't playing. I'd have to go back and look at my notes from that, if we knew before that week or not. I forget. But, it affects your game plan when a great corner's not playing. But, I think our team was just so dialed in for that 2-week process that they did a great job of blocking a lot of the outside noise. Because the Super Bowl, for your viewers, the Super Bowl it's nuts once you get there. I mean, it is hard. You show up to the game with about 98% of your game plan done, because once you get there, it's a circus. I mean, it's a circus for the coaches. It's a circus for the players. It's a circus for everybody. I mean, there's media obligations every single day. Obviously, you're going to practice. It can be a bit of a circus. So I thought our guys were tremendously mature in being able to block off some of that outside noise. And when it was time to concentrate on football, they did.
Yeah, quarterback Nick Foles is a great story. I know that he's revered down there in Philadelphia a lot for that run, and he did a sensational job through the playoffs for you guys.
There's a statue outside the stadium.
Yeah, he's got the statue up there too now because of everything that happened. you did such a wonderful job with the quarterback room at that point in time because Carson was playing. Carson was playing lights out that year, and unfortunate for the injury and going to a backup quarterback heading through the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl the way that you guys did. I know a lot of that was also your defense was really good, but Foles was really good through that stretch. So
He was great.
I wanted to commend you on that too because he had a great Super Bowl as well. So
yes, he did. Boy, he did. He played fantastic, and Nick was dialed in, and we were very fortunate to have a guy like Nick Foles. I mean, if you have just your average backup quarterback, that probably doesn't happen. And so that's why there's a market for really good backup quarterbacks right now. And, those guys make a good living being in that role because, each game is so important that, if you have a 4-game stretch with your backup, you're hoping you can win at least, you have a guy like Foles, you hope you win 3 of those minimally. So that's why, having a guy like that is invaluable.
Yeah, and he, and he definitely proved valuable for you guys with Philadelphia during that time as well. You went to Minnesota following that, and then to Jacksonville. You interviewed for the Chicago Bears,
Yep.
the head coaching for the quarterback spot with Matt Nagy. You had interviewed in 2018, right?
I interviewed for the head coaching job during the Super Bowl run during our bye. I interviewed for the Bears job, and I interviewed for the Arizona Cardinals head coaching job.
Okay, all right.
I
just wanted to ask a quick question about that real quick because you later joined Matt Nagy's staff as the quarterback's coach, even though you had interviewed with him. How was it working with Matt Nagy in Chicago? Because I felt like Chicago and a lot of the football media world kind of used Nagy a little bit as a scapegoat for what was going on over there.
Well, I'll tell you, Matt and I interviewed against each other for that job. Matt and I have known each other since college. We played. He was in Delaware. I was at James Madison. We're both from Eastern Pennsylvania. He and I have known each other for a long time. We've coached with a lot of the same people. We're kind of that, Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, Frank, all those guys. So, I love Matt. I absolutely love him. And I agree with you. I think he got, scapegoated. I mean, shoot, he was there. He was the head coach 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, right? Or
21. I think he was. I think he got like 21. Yeah.
4 years, and I think he made the playoffs twice in 4 years. Obviously they got beat by the Eagles the following year. And I'll tell you what, they were really good in 2018 when I was in Minnesota. They were so good on defense; it was incredible. And I was happy for Matt when he got that job. If you're going to lose out to somebody, you want to lose out to a guy like Matt Nagy, who's a fantastic person. A great father, a great husband, great friend. And so I'm thrilled for him. He's back in Kansas City. Chicago's a great sports town. It's a very hard sports town. It's just like any big city, New York, Philadelphia, Dallas, Chicago. Those are hard sports towns. And you're going to face a lot of criticism when you lose. And so it can kind of snowball on you at times too when you're in those cities, and the public opinion the winds can shift in an instant. And so I thought Matt handled himself with a ton of grace through the whole thing. And I was proud to be on his staff.
Yeah, I thought you might have had something like that to say because Matt Nagy, for all the criticism he did take, he seemed to handle himself pretty well. And those sidelines definitely, despite all the losing, still seemed like a lot of people respected him. And I just wanted to get a little insight to make sure that I've read that right, that situation right. That's all.
Yeah, 100%. And at the end of the day, in their mind, in the owner's mind, we didn't win the football games, and so he made a decision, and I was just thrilled when Matt landed back in Kansas City.
Yeah, for sure. The unfortunate business side of football there.
Right.
That side of things. So you took 2022 off. I'm assuming a good chunk of that had to do, with while you're trying to figure out the health stuff, I would imagine, and just to kind of maybe recharge yourself.
Honest with you, it was time for me to take a break.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for 22 years. Been doing it in the NFL for 15. And had been, doing it in Division I college football for 7. That's a long time. And it's a lot of hours. I mean, you're looking at, and I'm not trying to, tell your viewers that I'm, walking 6 feet through the snow to school and all that, but it is. I mean, the NFL season is long and it's arduous, and as a coach, you are there a long time, especially when you're an offensive coordinator or a quarterback coach. Those are hard jobs. So it was just time for me to recharge. I had a couple of job offers that I don't want to say I wasn't interested in, but came my way, and it just either didn't work out or it just didn't feel right at the time. And then this opportunity came along, and it really intrigued me because I really wanted my next move to be something that really challenged me. And, not that being a quarterback coach in the NFL is not challenging, because it is, but I know how to do it. I know, I feel like I'm good at it. It's one of the few things I'll say I feel like I'm somewhat good at, that and eating. But other than that, I don't give myself a lot of credit on a lot of things. But yeah, it was something that this was very intriguing when this thing came about, because it was the first league to survive a full season and go into year 2. All right. You got the backing of the huge backing of Fox. All right. And, every game's on national television, and they're partnered with NBC and with Peacock and with USA and with those folks. And so you're not just coming to this thing on a whim, where you're backed by powerful people. And so that was what made this thing intriguing. The fact that the guy that runs our league is probably the best fullback to ever play in the NFL. All those things that just made this thing really, really cool. And we lost a lot of players in the offseason. When I took this job, I mean, shoot, we had to sign a bunch of players. And I looked at our roster when I took this job, I almost fainted. I was like, holy cow, how are we going to get all these guys? And so, and so this thing was intriguing, and I watched it when I was out. I watched a lot of these games, and it looks really good on television, and the Fox people do a great job. The Fox, I don't care. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Fox employee. It's the truth. I've always felt this way. When you watch an NFL game on Fox, it's different than the other networks. It just is. It looks way better. And, so that's what was intriguing about this thing, was the fact that it has survived to year 2, and the fact that you had, people, very powerful people in the networks, backing this project. I couldn't turn the job down. I mean, I said, this is my chance to be a head coach, challenge myself in a different way, which is what I was looking for. And, at the end of the day, this job's 4.5 months, and, it gives you some family time as well. So I have a 3-year-old daughter who I saw for half an hour a week when I was in Chicago. And so, I saw her for half an hour a week awake. So, during the season. So that part of the job was very intriguing.
Yeah, I have 3 daughters of my own, so I get that, family time. Oh yeah, 3 daughters of my own. They're all going to be teenagers at the same time. Yay, lucky me. Yeah, it's pretty rough. But did you have any reservations? I know you're talking about all the stuff that was intriguing, because spring football, as we know, hasn't had a great track record, at least recently. And I just wanted to know, did you have any reservations? Was there any reservations in the back of your mind too?
Absolutely. Whenever you step out of your comfort zone, you always have reservations. And it was more of a comfort zone thing for me. Yeah. And, you think to yourself, how am I going to be in that chair? How am I going to, what am I going to do? And you figure it out. You figure it out, and you trust your gut, and you hire good people around you. And I feel like we did that, and we haven't been perfect. But I think some of the situations that have come up, I think that we've learned, and we'll keep getting better. That's what you do. You learn and you get better. But sure, there were some reservations, 100%, because anytime you step out of your comfort zone, my comfort zone was coaching, being an OC or a quarterback coach in the NFL. That was my comfort zone. I know how to operate inside an NFL building. I know what it's supposed to look like. I know what a quarterback room is supposed to look like. But this was an awesome challenge for me. Then it's like anything. When you climb that rung and you take that next whether you're a manager at a store and you go to the associate head manager or whatever. Of course, there's always like, how am I going to be in this role? And so, but you figure it out. You work and you figure it out.
Yeah, when you took the job, it was Davis Cheek and Aquil Glass were the only two quarterbacks that you had on roster, but prior to bringing in obviously McLeod Bethel Thompson from the Grey Cup winning quarterback.
We brought in both Davis and Aquil.
Yeah, you brought those. Yeah. Well, okay, that's right. I apologize. That's right. You did bring those two in.
Kyle Sloter, who I had in Chicago and Minnesota, he went to the XFL.
Okay, that's right. He had moved to the XFL. That's right. You forgot that you had brought those two in. My apologies on that. But you had those two they're both relatively rookies at that point, because even though they both had been the prior draft class, neither one of them saw really any major significant time at the NFL level.
That's right.
So when you went and approached or pursued a veteran quarterback, McLeod Bethel Thompson was who you ended up landing with the Grey Cup with the Toronto Argonauts last year. Was MBT always like near the top of the list of people that you were interested in coaching and bringing in, or did you guys have a previous relationship somewhere and it just kind of connected?
McLeod was with us in Philadelphia in 2016 for training camp, and unfortunately, we had to release him. But I was with him. I knew him. I really liked him as a person, and I knew he was a really good player. I'm a big history guy. I like history. I like World War II. I like studying history. And all I know is from being in pro football for so long in the NFL, rookie head coach, rookie general manager, and rookie quarterback usually don't spell it's not a recipe for success in professional football. Okay. So that's what we had. We had a first-time GM, Ryan Jones, and I working together, first-time head coach, and we had two rookies on the roster. And I knew, we had to go out and get somebody. And you'd be shocked at the calls we had from people recruiting us. Okay. I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to do that to those QBs out there.
Of course.
But we had some guys that really wanted to come and play for us. And because they knew they were going to put good tape on, they knew they were going to run a pro-style offense, and it was their chance to get back into the NFL. So McLeod is the guy we ended up going with. I kind of knew the whole time that was the direction we were going to go. It was mutually beneficial for both of us. We needed a veteran, and he wanted to come back to the United States to play. So it was very mutually beneficial, and it's been really, really good so far.
Yeah, you guys have had a really good season of so far. Launched out of the gate, 4 straight wins, as we all know. The last 2 weeks, some stumbling blocks, but it's professional football. It's going to happen no matter what you do. How do you go about getting back this offense into a rhythm at this stage? Because that seems to be the last 2 weeks. It seems that it's just been a little bit out of rhythm.
We have been out of rhythm. That's a great observation. We have been out of rhythm, and I've told our guys that. It's a lot of things. And everybody has a hand in it, myself included. If you can't self-scout yourself, especially as a head coach, I wear 3 hats here. I'm the head coach, I'm the play caller, and I'm the quarterback coach. So those are 3 major jobs. So, if I can't sit here and look in the mirror and say, I'm not part of this, it's all this or all that, that's wrong. So I've done some self-scouting myself. I think the number one thing to get in rhythm is you have to be on the field, okay? And you have to run plays and to get into that rhythm. And I think, we started out last week with a 3-and-out. It was a good play by the defender. I think Sage could have made that play. Sage will tell you he could have made that play on the first play of the game. Then we get a completion for 6, 3rd and 4 incompletion. We're off the field. The week before against Memphis, we had 3 plays in the first quarter. Okay. For -3 yards. So to get in a rhythm, you got to run plays. And so we've done a great job as a team, in time of possession so far this season, except for the last 4 games. We dominated, minus the Houston game where we won, but we won by like 27 seconds. We've dominated the time of possession this year in all of our games. So that's the key is running plays and staying on the field and converting on third downs, which the last couple of weeks we've struggled. And, that's what we got to get back to. And it's just all about somebody making a play early. I want to see somebody make a play early and get our swag back, and we'll be fine. But we'll crawl out of this thing for sure.
Oh, I mean, professional football, it's all about momentum anyways. I noticed it's easy for us from where we sit to analyze and kind of, view everything, and like we know better than whatever, it's easy for us to do that. But I happen to notice as an observation that it tends to be when the defense can't get off the field.
Mm-hmm.
Your guys, the offense for you guys just feel like you guys are so quick hitting, and you just need to be like in the flow, not thinking about stuff. It feels like you guys get knocked out of rhythm when the defense struggles to get off the field. Is there any adjustments that you feel that you could make with the defense to maybe try to get them off the field faster?
Yeah, the last couple of weeks we've been a bend but don't break defense for sure. We've gotten turnovers, which is just huge. It's been huge. And unfortunately, offensively, our team has not capitalized on those turnovers. So our defense has done a really good job of taking the football away. The problem is we have a lot of long drives. Okay. The opposing team's offense has a lot of long drives. And, it's we give up a lot of third and longs. We just do. We have the last couple of weeks, and we have pretty much all season. We give up a lot of third and longs. And where we do a great job on first and second down, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and 12, and there's a dagger across the field for 18. So we need to tighten up a little bit on defense for sure. I thought that we struggled to get to the passer last week. I don't think we put a lot of pressure on Cookus at all. And so we have to do a better job of making the quarterback move his feet. And when the quarterback has to move, it's hard. Your accuracy level goes way down, way down. So anything we can do to affect the quarterback is what we're going to do. But you got to give our defense credit. They've done a very nice job. We've done a great job of taking the ball away. But we have to the offense has to capitalize on those, and we have to get some people off. We need a couple 3 and outs, get them 3 and out. And so we will. And, we just got to keep playing.
I have full faith in you guys. I mean, I think you guys have one of the better defenses and one of the most underrated wide receiver rooms in all of the USFL as well. I just wanted to mention that real quick, because as a fan, it's I don't feel like you guys are getting enough credit in that standpoint there. But Coach, I appreciate your time. I don't really have anything else for you. I know that I know you're coming off of two straight losses. You probably want to get back to, at least try to get into the zone for this weekend, and good luck to you against Birmingham. And I appreciate you taking out the time. Is there anybody that you want to shout out or send a message to at all while I have you on? You're more than welcome to.
I would love that. Number one, I would like to send a shout out to my daughter, Reese, okay, who I missed terribly. Okay. I'm away from daddy's away from home, but baby girl, I love you so much. It's incredible. Okay. And then number two, I'd like to give a shout out to Dr. Sullivan and her team at the Mayo Clinic for helping me and all those and just helping me get my life back. So those are two very important people in my life. And baby girl, I'll be home soon. I love you.
Well, I appreciate your time again, Coach DeFilippo, and good luck to you on the rest of the season. Let's go win a championship for the Breakers in New Orleans. Huh?
Let's do it. Hey, thanks for having me on. Anytime.
Thank you.
See ya.
This is Brett, and you're watching Shady Sports Network. Tune in, hit that like button.
You might wonder, what do these guys do? Player signing announcements. I never in a million years thought you would actually come on to break this news. So without further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what happened today.
Yeah, man. I just had a workout with the Cincinnati Bengals. Signing me right out.
Without further ado, I'd like to announce that, I'll be taking my talents to Salina Liberty.
This just in. The Major League of Football is reportedly collapsing, unable to pay hotel room bills with players being kicked out of their rooms and hotel managers asking them to leave voluntarily without issue.
And then we got Lions wide receiver Williams is debuting this week as a starter. That's something to look at as far as the eye test goes. And then another one on the eye test is Mostert. It might be coming back to Miami. And we can see if he has a role in this offense and see if he can be viable for the next couple weeks coming and help us in the playoffs and possibly towards a championship. That would be very nice because he's sitting on my bench right now.